How's it going, guys? It is Ryan and welcome to something different. I'm giving you here some iRacing from a GT3 race I did yesterday at Sonoma in the Mercedes GT3. Now this is going to be a short and highlights video that I'm going to be putting up every week. If you guys like to see that, then let me know in the comments below for that. And we are away straight away. It's a 40-minute race this is on iRacing, but we're going to be doing a little short highlights package. There's a bit of contact straight in front of us there, a bit of netcode, and it takes out a few of the cars behind, which is not what we want to see in a GT3 race, but we've gained 2 positions straight off the bat, so we'll take that away from that on there as we are in Mercedes. This is the GT3 series. It's the Blanche Pan Sprint, which features the McLaren MP412C, the car I'm driving at the Mercedes AMG GT3, the BMW Z4, which is in front of us there, the rough track, and the new Audi R8 as well. So it's a 40-minute race. We're down the pecking order in 14th, starting from 14th, so we had a bit of a dismal qualifying, but I did run a race setup through qualifying just to get a bit of a feel for the car on race trim. So been a bit of contact ahead of us there between a few of the cars, including Michael Golf, which you'll see throughout this whole race, as we're going to go round the outside of him, and also of one round the outside of him. So 2 positions gained round the outside. A good start from us there, as we will break into the final corner, and we can see Jon going down the inside, doing a dive bomb there on us, so we knew it was coming. Give him the space if he wants to make that move. And Goff as well is right next to us side by side there, going into the start of the second lap there. And it looks like one made a bit of a mistake that hit the wall, so he's lifted off. So I don't know what's happened there to him. Maybe he got a slowdown penalty or whatever. But we're up to 9th place, or 8th place actually. So 6 places off the start is always a good start. So moving on to the start of the 3rd lap now, and we're on to the back of 1 here, as we'll be, his brakes a bit too early for us, so we had a bit of a cheeky lock-up. He goes wide actually, so we're going to be trying to get right back him now. We're right on the back of him in his BMW there, on the diffuser of him, so we had to back off there, get a bit of an off track there, just clipping the gravel there, but we get a nice exit on him now. This could be a chance into this right-hander, so we're going to try and brake a bit later, but he's coming across there, blocking the door on us there. So we had to back out of it there, losing the back end slightly over the curbs, and we go over. And Michael there's trying to maybe a move on the inside, but knows we were going to make the to the corner on the inside. He backs off, and we maintain position. But that was a very close contact there with Juan at that stage in his BM. So a bit worrying there that we can see some cars here. Most drivers in the series are aggressive, so something to maybe consider going into the rest of this race here at Sonoma. Pit stops will be interesting. You cannot do this on a full tank, so because the cars are restricted to a certain amount of litres, or don't know what it is in metric perspectives. I think it's gallons, I think, on there. But we're going to go on to lap number 5 now, and we're in 7th after Juan made a mistake and hitting the wall. He disappeared and disconnected, unfortunately, so that was a bit unfortunate for him. But in front of us there's been a bit of contact there with Raul, I think that is. So he's lost out there massively, as he's dropped to 3rd place there, and also Severance was the other man who made contact, as there's a bit of damage on the left-hand side of his car. So we gain another 2 positions, and we'll move up to the top 5. So that's a good start from us there, P5. Only 5 laps in, so very happy with the start we've made. But there's a long way to go in this race, lots of action ahead, as this race needs to be very careful there, as actually Javi goes very aggressive there on the curbs on the entry to that little chicane moment. So we are right on the back of him, who's in a rough. Quite surprising the rough's up here, because the rough isn't that quick from the build, so from the new season build compared to the rest of the GT3s. So surprised he's in the top 5 actually, so it's good on him. I give him praise for driving a rough. But we're now right on the back of him now, as we are a lot quicker than him at this stage. He takes a bit too much steering angle and goes a bit wide, as we get a fantastic exit now. We're going to try and go around the outside of him, but we'll have the inside line for the next corner, but there's just no way you can overtake that corner, so I backed out of it nicely on there. But we're going to try. He brakes a bit early there, a bit strangely, and we're going to do a bit of a late brake, but he commits the corner very nicely there and maintains position. But we have got a couple of cars behind, which includes Michael Goff as well, who's still following us actually. So was worried about fuel actually, really did not work out fuel very well, but we're going to go on to the next couple of laps as we're still behind this rough here, as we're up actually nearly by a second it seems on the deltas, so we're really giving it the full beans here. And again, don't know why he brakes there, He's just breaking up there, so we're going to brake a bit later than him, go down the inside, and we just about get it right there, putting full lock on the car to get it turned in. And also, I think that's a BMW, I think, as well, trying to get past the rough, but the rough maintains at least one position. He lost there, so quite unfortunate for him, but a position is a position for us, so we're up to 4th place already, so it's a very good start. Already gained 10 positions already, so it's a very good start from us there, as we try to pull away from this trio of cars behind. So we'll put a lot of pressure on it, as we will try to keep this line perfectly, not to take too much of that inside curb, otherwise you will lose it. And the downhill slope there, when you put the throttle down, is a nightmare for a lot of us, so we were very struggling there to get the gas down at that point. But we're starting to put a gap actually to the rough, so I was quite happy with this pace we were having there as we go on to another few laps later. And as you can see, the gap is about 3 seconds, I believe, to the cars behind, so I was quite chuffed there. As we can see, Kevin actually going into the pit lane there, very early pit stop there, considering we've only done about 11-12 minutes of this race, so I was a bit concerned actually about that, but he could be on a different strategy. Maybe he pitted, started the race with less fuel than us, so we're up to 3rd anyway with Kevin pitting, so we'll take that. Actually, we've still got about 16 laps of 15 or 16 laps of fuel, as we get a bit of an off track there going over the curb, so a bit apologetic there for me, so I do apologise. As we've got a white, I think that's a Mercedes ahead of us there, of Rodrigo, who is just ahead of us there. He's only 5.5 seconds, as Yaro Perez still leads the race, only 10 seconds up the road. What if we did a decent qualifying? We would have been up there maybe, but Michael's still with us. He's only a second behind, and it has been like that throughout this race. 14 laps in is just ridiculous, so absolutely manic this start has been from us, gaining so many places, 11 places, with Michael still behind us from the start. So we're going to be in for quite a long race here, as we're going to be braking now to start another lap, lap 15 of this race, and Michael is still with us here, just under a second behind, so I've got to keep an eye on him, just to maybe jump him in the pit stops. We've got JJ Tubb in the pits, who, if you guys don't know, is a Twitch streamer, a very big Twitch streamer on iRacing, so I want to give him some props there, because I showed him my set and he felt pretty good with it, so I want to give him some praise for using it. Anyway, we're going on to the end of lap 15. We're going to try and get past Harold Ide, as we do so nicely. He was 14th place. I was just giving a little message there saying thank you. Trying to drive at the same time, it's quite difficult to send a message across to anyone. And also lets Michael through, which I wasn't really happy with. I would have liked him to hold Michael at bay for a certain amount of time on there. So going on to lap 16, the gap is still a second to Michael, so, and Rodrigo's still got a gap of about maybe 5.5 seconds still, so really the pace has been okay so far. We're still in the low 12s, which I was quite happy with. Mid to low 12s, I'll take it. As speaking of Tubbsy, we have him just ahead of us here, who's also in a Mercedes, so he had a bit of contact at the start with that with the two cars having a netcode issue, so he unfortunately got held up in that. As we've got a slow car there of, I believe that's Raul Alfonso, making a bit of a mistake there, but he lets us through very nicely there, so I was quite chuffed he was there. But now we're going to be hunting down a Twitch streamer of Tubbsy, who is now a second behind, who was a bit unfortunate. He had some decent pace. He started behind us in qualifying, a tenth slower than us, so I was feeling optimistic here that we could try and get past him as quickly as possible, and for him to do us a favour and hold up Michael, which would be very nice indeed. So bit of a tank slap out the final corner there, but we're going to go on now, continuing on to start lap 20, and I was thinking at this point we may try and do an undercut here on Michael and see how we do with that, and it all depends really on how quick we can get past Tubbsy, as if we stay behind him for about three-quarters of the lap, we will have to pit just to try and gain some time back from all this time we are losing at the minute behind Tubbsy. But most importantly, we are catching up to Rodrigo, which is quite interestingly enough. He's only 4.9 seconds up the road, so our pace has been quite good in the mid-12s, so I was very happy with that. As we're going to be braking now, as he lets us through now. He goes wide and lets us through as we move up to coming to the last stage of the lap. And I was thinking at this point we will pit now, really, as the time lost that Michael will get behind Tubbsy, which is going to be good, as the 5 laps of fuel from our engineer has come up. As we're coming now to the penultimate corner, we brake really lately and go really wide. Tubbsy looks like he was going to make a move, but he lifts off very respectively, as we will go into the pit lane and Michael will stay out. So we need to take this initiative right now. I think we were a bit slow though in the pit entry there, so I was a bit annoyed with that, losing a couple of temps maybe on there, as it's a very, very long pit road this is. To have 25 plus cars on the grid is one thing, as we'll be just getting just amount of fuel in there. I always over fuel in the pit stops because I do burn quite a lot than my teammates do in Apex Racing. So on there, as we've got a bit of optional repairs, I decided against that. Maybe it might bite us in the backside later on in the race, but away we go from our pit box, as we will come out somewhere around 9th place, I'm going to wonder, or 8th or 9th. Jose there is just coming towards the finish line, so we're going to have some clean air, which is a very positive thing to get out of that pit stop out there. So quite happy really with that, as we'll come out in 8th place, as I said. We've got 6 seconds up the road to Duarte, who is going to be making the pit stop, and Jose, who's 4 seconds back, so we've got a nice gap all around, which was what I wanted out there. But out of the pit stop on the next lap, as you can see, Michael had a better pit exit, and using less fuel as well, actually taking less fuel on him, has put him ahead of us, which is not what I wanted really. So the strategy didn't really work out for us there. He may have had a better pit entry than us and less time in the pits. So we really need to push now, as the leader now finally makes his pit stop on there, which is round about this time, as we've got about 8 to 10 minutes remaining of the race to go. So I really needed to push now and try and catch up to Michael and try and gain something out of this, as we kind of, as I said earlier, we did lose out in the pit battle between him, as we've got Samuel in the pit lane, who from 4th place. So most of these guys will be pitting this time, so we'll see how that goes, as Perez is pitted as well, so he will be coming out just ahead of us, as Rodrigo as well pitted as well. So moving on to lap 25, and we're still trying to catch up to Michael. The gap is under a second, which is always a benefit, but remember, there's no DRS, so which is a bit unfortunate, as he does go into the pit lane, does Duarte, so we will gain another spot on him, as we're coming now to start lap number 26, as we're doing very well, I must say. The pace has been okay, still in the 12s, which is one thing I wanted on there. So we're going to be braking now towards turn 1, this very uphill section here, actually of turn 2, actually, I do apologise, on there, as we're right on the back now of Michael, as we're just going to try and hunt him down really push on there, as he takes a bit of curve there, which will push him out slightly wide, but we get a massive tank slapper, which did cost us a bit of time there. But we're going to further on the lap now, as we're now a second behind, as Rodrigo is 8 seconds up the road, so I don't think we're going to be getting Rodrigo at any stages of the race on us there. So it's going to be very difficult, as Juan now makes his pit stop, as there's a really late pit stop there from him, so he's done very well to hold out that long. But that's really with a full tank in the Mercedes, so 27 laps, 26 laps will get you a full tank, just to give a bit of a heads up to anyone watching this who will drive the Mercedes at this stage on there. So we're still fighting Michael now in for 5th place realistically, as we've got a slow back marker there of Raul there, who's had a bit of a moment there, and to be fair to him, he pulls to the right and lets us both through to continue our battle, so that's always nice of him to let us through there. Some of the people here in this series don't really do that, so we're still fighting with him, and so we lost a bit of time there to Michael, but we'll brake really late now into this corner, and we've gained some time back on him, so it's still under 0.8 of a second, so we've really got to push now at this stage of the race, as we haven't got long left. It's about 33, 34 laps here at Sonoma in a 40-minute race, depending on the weather conditions. The weather here was clear, so it's around about 33 laps, so we really need to get the move on now. The setup felt very nice in these conditions at this stage. As you can see, we're right on the back of Michael now. We're only 3 tenths behind on there. So we've got Harold still 3.6 seconds, and Martin as well, all squabbling for position actually for 11th place. So it's going to be very close between them two coming to the end of the race on there. As we're still behind Michael here. We're braking really late now. We're being very aggressive into the corners to try and get something out of this. As we're going to be coming now. And someone's gone off there. I think that's Martin there, who holds up Martin there, who may have got some contact there and will take the initiative. And he has got damage on the front left side of his car, which has really dented his chances of really holding on to 4th, which is really disappointing, because we're having a fantastic battle with Michael there, which was a bit unfortunate for him. But it's our gain, and we'll move up to 4th place now as that really was the end of the battles really between anyone on track on there. But we're going to now go towards the final lap now of this race as the white flag comes out on the lap 32. So it will be 33 laps of this race here at Sonoma, as we've got a lot of back markers ahead of us. So we'll have to see how that goes. We're going to be braking now to the as we go a bit wide there, as Michael will let us through maybe, but no, don't know what he was doing there, but he pulls out of the way and we will hold on. There's not really anyone to battle with. Rodrigo's 10 seconds up the road, and I believe the next car behind was about 8-9 seconds, so not really going to be fighting for any positions at the minute, which is a bit of disappointing really. But it's been a very good race, this is, and this was just a bit of a test to see what you guys think. It'll be nice to know what you guys think in the comments. Would like to see any more highlighted videos of any of the races I do on iRacing, more specifically the GT3s as well. Let me know in the comments below. And I stream these races anyway on my Twitch channel, which is in the description below as well. But we're coming to the end of the race now, as we're coming towards the penultimate corner. And to be fair, to gain 11 spots in this race from 14th on the grid has been excellent from us. A decent amount of pace as well, consistent as well. And we will come home on the podium for 3rd place in our first race of the week as well, I must say, on there. So I was very happy with that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that race, and if you did, hit that like button if you did. But until next time, have a fantastic day wherever you're doing, and subscribe if you're ready for any new content on this channel. Until then guys, have a fantastic day, and I shall see you very soon for another video. Until then, take care.